First of all, honorable members, we cannot say that our members are corrupt. We cannot, even if some of our members have been arrested and they're in prison, there is a presumption of innocence. Honorable members, can you shut up? Please. There is a presumption of innocence. You cannot say somebody is a thief. How many members are in a budget committee? How many are you? Eh? Chairman, how many members? There are 65 members in the budget committee. No, we want a clarification from the... A clarification.
This is a house of record.
Sechi.
This is a house of record.
Sech.
I want to clarify as follows. I was present when the head of state came to pay his tribute to the late Cecilia Ogwal. And in his speech, he said it, Madam Speaker, you were there. The president accused this parliament of being corrupt. When we were in Kololo, it was mentioned. In this letter, the president has written the word corruption and said with allegation. It is in this letter. It is also factual.
Thank you. Honorable members, let's give people time.
Just the justification that I had for supporting that the committee of the whole house was based on one, the reallocations being contested by the president was done by the budget committee and brought to this house. And the house adopted it. So it means the budget committee already did their part. This house can then sit. This house can sit and therefore take a decision on a case-by-case basis on the matters raised by the president.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker. I have a proposal.
Honorable members,
Right.
honorable members, if the statement of corruption hurt anybody, that one we must.
Thank you. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues. This matter, Right Honourable Speaker, the matter is before us. Whether we do ping pong on who is corrupt and who is not, the matter is before us. When the budget committee brings the report, it is approved by the whole house. Whether you want to pretend that you are not touched or not, you are part of this parliament. It is my view, therefore, Right Honourable Speaker, that we restrict ourselves to either reconsideration or rejection of this matter, and we pass it and move. The rest is grasshopper mentality. You are in one bottle, just biting each other for no reason. That is my
Speaker. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and members. Budget Committee did its work. This Parliament passed it. I could be more comfortable, Right Honourable Speaker, if we compared and what was sent to the President for consenting. As long as we first know what we passed, maybe you never know along the way. You never know along the way.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members.
Madam.
Honorable members, when a bill is passed in this House, it goes to the legal team to refine it and send it for assent. The bill that was sent to the President is what was passed in this House. We want to get a confirmation from the Minister of Finance. Was the bill which was passed in this House, is that what was received by the President?
Madam Speaker, I wish to confirm that the bill which Parliament passed on 16th of May 2024 is the same bill that was sent to the President for assent.
Thank you.
And here with me is the copy which I can lay.
Thank you. Aisha Atkins.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Susan.
I have two issues, Right Honourable Speaker. First, Speaker, you earlier that the front bench will always be designated for the ministers. Right Honourable Speaker, our side people do not have where to sit. It is full by NRM officers, and they are seated very uncomfortably, one sitting on another. I request that you'll ask the NRM backbenchers to leave the front bench of the opposition. That's one. Number two, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, listening to the President's letter, actually, the President's letter blames corruption on the whole House. I even doubt whether at this time we have the moral authority to discuss what the President sent back to us after he has accused us, all of us, of being corrupt. Number two, when you listen to the President's letter, there are serious legal issues he speaks to. In a way, he wants his bill, the statutory bill that came to us, to pass as he brings it. Does Parliament have any mandate to appropriate, according to him? According to that letter, the President says we do not have mandate to tamper with his budget the way he brings to us. We honestly need legal interpretation, whether mandate to appropriate. And if the House has mandate to appropriate, then what is the form of appropriation that Parliament should do or can do?
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, Parliament, and nobody will take it away from us. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I need your protection. Prime Minister. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I want to request to appreciate that the President respects this House. That's why he sent back this bill for reconsideration. If he was not respecting us, he has other options. He can warrant, but he went aside. He decided to bring back this bill because he respects this House. Can I request, Right Honourable Speaker, that you allow the Attorney General to come in at this time so that he can guide us? Procedural.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of corruption in this parliament has gone beyond borders. Right Honorable Speaker, we have lost trust in the budget committee. That is why I think the president has written to you, so that this house can be given opportunity to scrutinize the budget in relation to his rejections for reallocation. Madam Speaker, the procedural matter I want to raise is, you already made a ruling on this matter, that let the House debate and let the House go for the reallocation. You have ruled, Madam Speaker. Are we moving well procedurally on a matter that you have ruled on?
Thank you. Honor, Rule 222. Rule 222. The House has already made a decision. The House has already made a decision. Can I now have the minister?
Item 3, motion for reconsideration of the Appropriation Bill 2024 as returned by His Excellency the President in accordance with Article 91(3)(c) of the Constitution and Rule 143 of the Rules of Procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker.
You wait, let him move a motion, and you will bring all of that when we are in the committee of the whole House.
Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker. Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker. I thank you for correcting the anomaly where you've referred now for a formal motion to be moved by the Minister of Finance. Since this is an appropriation bill, it couldn't have been moved by the government chief whip when the minister is here. That one, I thank you. But number 2, Right Honorable Speaker.
The other one was different. Very different.
My implication is for you to pick the cue from that. I was just tickling you to pick a cue from that. I was giving you the beef from you.
Go say it, stop tickling me.
Right Honorable Speaker. This is not a normal reconsideration of the bill. For almost a quarter of a century, I've been to this house. Almost a quarter of a century I've been to this house. I'm going to make a quarter of a century. This has never been, this is quite unprecedented. And I would have requested, Right Honorable Speaker, to allow the House to interrogate the circumstances under which the budget speech already made to the Ugandans were received by the country, and now the president is referring back the bill to this parliament for reconsideration. Does it mean that the president reads the budget without assigning or assenting to it? And that is one dilemma. The second dilemma, Right Honorable Speaker, I have. As Parliament will look bad. Who caused this? We want to know. Don't blame all of us to this. Who caused all this? Let us know, let us interrogate who tampered for selfish reasons the budget of the country. If you talk about 3.1 trillion, 3.1 trillion in 4 years, this is huge amounts of money. Right? It isn't a normal reconsideration. Bad motive has been imputed on this house, and the president cannot speak in vain. It means he has evidence.
Can we first constitute the house into a committee of the whole house?
But
then
usually,
you talk.
Right Honorable Speaker, let us first exhaust this, then we can go back knowing the reasons. And what are we moving from, and where are we moving next? Where is the problem? Who did this? We must know who are the thieves, if they are thieves of 3.1 trillion. Yes, I'll take it. This is getting out of hand.
You don't have to raise for me to hear you. I am saying, honorable members, and Honorable Leon brought a very good suggestion. Avuru, sit. Honorable members, we are saying we are going to have a committee of the whole house. And in that committee of the whole house, can I have silence? Can you first, Minister of Finance, move a motion and we go into a debate?
Honorable Speaker, before the motion, I would like to request the executive bill. We passed it and should have taken effect on 1st July. We are now into the financial year. Before we even move to consider, would the executive address us under what legal regime and what will happen now that we don't have a law in place? So that
AG.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, clearly stated, the President has returned the Appropriations Bill under Article 91.3c. We are all aware that the financial year in Uganda starts on 1st July of every subsequent year. Before I direct myself exactly on the provisions of the law, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, it is indeed the constitutional mandate of Parliament to appropriate money against the proposals that have been made by the President in the budget estimates in accordance with Article 156. While we exercise this mandate, the approval of the budget must be done in comparison to the budget that is presented by the executive. That means this is a shared responsibility of both the executive and the Parliament. Honourable Chimosho did mention here that we were all in the House when this bill was passed. And this Parliament constitutes a front bench and a back bench. And therefore, we are collectively responsible for the decisions that were made in this House on that day. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the decision for the President to return the bill is also founded in law. And the decision of the President to return the bill to this House is backed by both by Constitution and even our rules of procedure. And as such, we are not operating outside any provisions of the law. While we do this appropriation, honourable colleagues and members,
Order, Madam.
we need to consider the priorities both of government and also the available resources. So, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, when the bill is brought back to Parliament, it should not be taken as an offensive act by the executive. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, the framers of this constitution were alive. The framers of this constitution were alive to the fact that there will come a day when July 1 comes to pass before the Appropriations Act is passed. In Article 154(4), the exercise of the executive authority by the President to issue a warrant can be done before 1st July or after. Honourable colleagues, we don't have a crisis. Government, there are sufficient legal mechanisms to ensure that government continues running. I want to implore your colleagues, let us all sit down and reconsider.
Council, you mean a warrant has been issued?
No, the warrant has not been issued, but what Honourable Dur was asking is what happens, and we are saying that we are well within our rights because the Constitution anticipated that we can deal with the Appropriations Act even after 1st July. There is no warrant current.
So
Both print and electronic media is awash with what the PSST opined about, especially when he raised this same issue of the warrant. And I would like to seek clarification from the Attorney General whether the President, as of now that we do not have an appropriation act in operation, whether he has already written, already issued a warrant to issue funds from the consolidated fund until the expiry of 4 months, as stipulated in that Article 154, which you have ably quoted.
I can state with no fear of contradiction that the President has not issued a warrant under Article 154(4) of the Constitution. The President has chosen to take the path of coming back to the House so we can go through this budget and do this exercise.
Procedure, Honorable Speaker.
Satisfied that the Appropriation Act in respect of any financial year will not or has not come into operation by the beginning of the financial year, the President may, subject to the provisions of the article, authorize an issue of monies from the consolidated fund, and that is a warrant. Now, in the circumstance, today is 2nd, and that's why we say, because of the time, let's have this passed so that we do not bring in the issue of the warrant. We have the act passed, we have the bill passed, and then we have the act by it.
Procedure.
There's a motion.
The budget will be read in May, and it will be processed in May and read in June. The idea was that day one, under Section 13 of the Public Finance Management Act, that day one you issue authority to begin spending. I have seen ministers coming here. So who has fueled their vehicles? Under whose authority are they spending? So that's what you need to deal with practically.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
I rose, and the procedure relates to the motion for the appropriation bill we passed was moved by a Minister of Finance who was acting on the delegated powers of the President, and it turned out in the President's letter that the executive had not been consulted. So as you move the motion, can you guarantee to this House that you are now moving after consulting the executive, and what you are going to speak here represents the position of the executive, so that we do not do the same thing again? Thank you. Procedure, Honorable Speaker. Before the Minister.
Honorable members,
Honorable.
the Vice President of Republic of Uganda is in the House, representing the President of Uganda. The Prime Minister is here, and they can confirm that the delegated powers